You can let them in. Yeah, I can. Thank you. Let the record reflect the presence of counsel, the parties, as well as the witness. And I apologize for being abrupt before the break, but I need to let you both know, like I did yesterday, you have to see what the jurors are doing. When your witness is just sitting here looking through papers, they're upset. And that goes, they're going to hold it against both of you during this case if it doesn't move a little bit
We said
fast.
we'd stipulate, Your Honor.
I can't force him to stipulate. So.
Why should it be held against us, Your Honor?
So it's what?
Why should it be held against us? Because he's being difficult.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be held against both of you, but I can tell the jurors are upset. And it's unfortunate because the witnesses should be prepared when they take the stand. It's just unfortunate. All right. Are we ready to call on our witness, our jurors? What was going to say, sir?
I misunderstood your question. I thought you were talking about a witness. I was going to say the witness is on the stand, but then you said
Call the
jurors
jurors,
instead.
thanks.
So, yeah.
May I say something before you get upset?
What's that?
Never mind.
I couldn't hear you. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you a question, but that's okay.
Go ahead. You can before they come in. Yeah, go ahead.
Shouldn't the witness be sworn in?
I swore her in.
I didn't hear.
I did.
I didn't either.
I scooted over here and I told her I breathed, and they reminded me before I did it, and I swore her in. Before.
Okay.
Yeah. But thank you. And that's not upsetting.
That is an important part.
It is. And if I sound loud to you, it's hard for me to hear you all from here. So the jurors are having a hard time hearing you too, what you were laughing at. You said I could yell, but if you speak up, you're not yelling because just the way that the room is built, it may feel that way, but you're not yelling.
I normally speak loud, but people think I'm yelling, so.
No, seriously. That's why even Veronica had you go back to the mic because it was hard to hear you. And it's even when you're standing here between the witness, it's hard for me to hear you from here. So if it feels like you're yelling, you're not.
The
Just,
acoustics isn't exactly.
I can hear you fine, but it's hard to hear him.
Because of this?
No, I can hear you fine, but you're hard to hear.
It's the tone.
It's the tone,
Maybe.
yeah, the frequency or something.
Okay, thank
Let
you.
your Italian come out, honey.
I'll try to lift it up.
All rise.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record reflect the presence of our jurors, the witness, counsel, as well as the parties. All right, we left off with direct examination of this witness. Counsel, you may proceed.
Okay, and Ms. Vickus, having reviewed Exhibit 66, are these true and accurate copies of the records maintained by Banner Health?
According to Banner Health policy, yes.
Thank you.
Object again, Your Honor, outside the relevant time frame.
Same response, Your Honor.
Years after.
They're needed by the expert witness in order to calculate a trajectory of the Lewy body dementia.
The objection is overruled.
May I approach?
You may.
Showing what's marked as exhibit number 67. If you take a look at those records, please.
Yeah.
Ms. Vickus, after having reviewed exhibit number 67, can you confirm that these are true and accurate copies of the records maintained by Banner Health?
It is according to Banner Health policy, yes.
And that's in reference to exhibit 67, correct?
Correct.
Which number, counsel?
53.
Thank you.
She's not a doctor. She's a medical.
Object again, outside the relevant time, Your Honor, and this is only an opinion of a medical assistant.
She's not a doctor.
Still part of the medical records, Your Honor, and the records that were reviewed by the expert witness to determine the trajectory of the Alzheimer's, or pardon me, the Lewy body dementia, so it could be distinguished from Alzheimer's and Parkinsonian.
Over defendant's objection. You need 53.
Showing you what's marked as exhibit number 53. That, please. Is that a true and accurate copy of records maintained by Banner Health in regards to exhibit number 53?
In accordance to Banner Health policy, correct.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd like to move into admission exhibits 60, I think we started with 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, and now 53.
Objection by defendants?
Yes, irrelevant time frame and lack of relevance to the subject.
Over your objection, 53, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67 are admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. No more questions?
Cross-examination?
Yes. That last exhibit, which number was that?
53.
53, 5-3.
She has it up there.
May I see number 53, please? Okay. I'm in a hurry. Your position at Banner Health is custodian of records?
Yes.
You look through these exhibits, correct?
Correct.
How can you tell that they are identical to the records with Banner Health?
Each one would be printed out in the format that it's in, so I know that it is from Banner Health.
How can you tell that if any of the content had been altered?
I cannot.
And there's no certification.
I cannot do that. Only the provider can attest to that.
I understand. So you compared the documents basically from what would resemble something Banner would produce, correct?
Correct.
But you cannot verify the identical content from these documents to what's on the record with Banner, correct?
No, I cannot.
Do you know a Miss Ruby Pizarro?
No, sir.
Can you give the definition of what a MA is in the medical profession?
It's a medical assistant.
And what exactly is a medical assistant?
I am sure it's to assist the physician with whatever they need at the clinic.
A nurse, maybe?
I don't know if they are a nurse or not. I'm not clinical. I am more ancillary in regards to medical records.
So how can a medical assistant, a patient be under a medical assistant's treatment?
I cannot answer that at this time.
But there's documents here produced by Banner?
There is, but I cannot speak to the clinical side. I can only speak to the documents are Banner's records.
But you can't testify that they're identical as to what's on file.
I would have to do a comparison in order to know for sure.
That was my point.
But we do follow Banner Health policy in releasing what is requested out of the record.
When were these produced, these records allegedly produced?
I do not know that.
Is there a date on those?
Yes, there is the date and what they're printed.
There's no other date from my recollection. Can you find another date other than the date you said printed?
This one was printed on May 9th, 2018. That is Exhibit 67.
No, I'm not talking about the cover sheet. I'm talking about each with the reports. I'm not going to have you go through each report, though.
Yes, they would have it on there. Each report should have the date.
How come they reflect April 18th, 2018?
I can't answer that.
How come this document reflects October 30th of 2017?
You say which document? Tell us which
Oh,
exhibit
sorry.
number, please. Thank
It's,
you.
exhibit number 53.
Thank you.
How come it states October 30th, 2017?
If you're talking about the upper portion, that's when it was performed by the MA.
Okay. So she wrote this on this. So her opinion is here, but there's no date of when she gave her opinion, correct?
The date that she created it was October 30th, 2017.
Is that post September 6th, 2017?
I'm sorry, repeat your question?
Is the date October 30th after September 6th of 2017?
Yes.
And you're custodian records, but there's no certification on these records.
No, there's no certification. They were released at the location to the patient and the patient's wife.
And the date reflects April 18th, 2018, correct?
For this one, yes.
So anything could have happened to those documents between April 18th and current date, correct?
Once the documents have been entered into the electronic medical record,
No, I'm talking the ones that's released right there in front of you.
okay?
Those have not been in your custody until you released those records in 2018, apparently.
These records reside in the electronic medical record. These particular copies I haven't seen until this court case.
Exactly, is what I'm saying. So the ones that was released compared to these has been some time, and you have not been able to do a comprehensive comparing of these documents with what's in your record, have you not?
Correct.
So at any given time, these records, anything could have happened that was outside of your custody. And you cannot test. Anything could
Not
have happened.
testify that they're certified, no.
Thank you. Is there any particular reason these were produced outside of a relevant time of 2018?
I do not know the answer to that question.
Mr. Easton mentioned that these will reflect on the testimony of an expert witness of Lewy body disease. How will these records reflect Lewy body or even relate to them?
Objection, Foundation.
Sustained. She'd have to have that knowledge, so it has to be within her realm of knowledge in order to be able to testify that.
Just for all these documents that you say here and reviewed, you have not given a comprehensive comparison to what's on Banner Health database now compared to these, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. No more questions.
Redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple questions. Thank you. So in producing records for Banner Health, are you under a certain set of guidelines or procedures that are maintained by Banner Health for producing those records?
Yes, we are.
And did you review those procedures and policies before coming here today?
Yes.
And in answering all your questions here today, are you comfortable to a high degree of certainty that the records that have been produced by Banner Health are in fact true and correct copies of the records requested by Mr. and Mrs. Johansson?
According to Banner policy, it is stated on what to do in release of medical records according to what is requested. And we do follow that policy.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused?
Subject to recall, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're welcome to be excused. And may I have those exhibits that are before you? Thank you so very much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Counsel, do you have any additional witnesses?
I do, Your Honor.
You may call your next witness. Thank you.
Exhibit here, please.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we're calling Maritza Martinez to the stand. Maritza is M-A-R-I-T-Z-A. Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z.
Thank you. Hello. Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You do solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. This was not disclosed.
Custodian of record, Your Honor, for U.S. Bank Records.
And was that disclosed? Custodian of records for U.S. Bank?
Your Honor, the custodian record is Shannon Miltner in Minnesota.
Response, counsel?
Ms. Martinez is a custodian of records here for U.S. Bank and is qualified to review the file with U.S. Bank and verify whether or not what has been certified by U.S. Bank is true and accurate records.
There's no certification submitted, Your Honor.
She's a custodian of records, so I'm going to allow her testimony over your objection.
What's the witness's name?
Ms. Martinez, can you please state your name for the court?
Yes, Maritza Martinez,
And can you please tell the court who you work for?
U.S. Bank.
And what is your position at U.S. Bank?
I am a market operations analyst.
And is part of that, part of your duties there involve confirming the accuracy of records that are released when subpoenaed or requested?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that you're a custodian of records?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Give me just a minute to track down your exhibits here. This is exhibit number 99, I believe.
Outside the relevant time frame, Your Honor, I object.
Response?
I don't know what time frame he's talking about, Your Honor. We subpoenaed bank records that were covering March 1, 2015 through October 31st, 2017.
This affidavit, or this document here, states it was made in 2019, not 2017 or November, which is alleged time of the subpoena.
We requested this subpoena, Your Honor, or pardon me, we reached back out when we realized we hadn't received an affidavit of custodian of records, and U.S. Bank then looked at the documents they prepared for us and then issued a custodian of records affidavit.
Over your objection, you're allowed to use the exhibit. 99.
Can I approach?
You may.
Showing you what's marked as exhibit number 99. Can you take a look at that, please? Having looked over exhibit 99, can you tell me what the title of that document is, please?
Yes. It is a response from U.S. Bank for the subpoena.
And on page 2?
Page 2, the affidavit of custodian of records.
All right, and who was this affidavit of custodian of records prepared by, please?
Shannon Milton on behalf of U.S. Bank.
And would she be a person who had knowledge of the facts or made information transmitted by a person with knowledge of the facts?
Yes.
All right. And were the records in the exhibits I'm going to show you made at or near the time or the acts, events, conditions, opinions, or diagnosis appearing in it?
Yes.
And are the records in the exhibits I'm going to show you part of the regular practice of the bank?
Correct.
And are the records in the exhibit I'm going to show you kept in the course of regularly conducted business activities?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. No foundation.
What exhibit number are we referencing?
Exhibit 15, Your Honor.
Thank you. Your response?
Your response, witness is here to lay foundation.
Justine, go ahead and use it.
Yeah,
There's no subpoena been produced, Your Honor.
This hasn't been admitted. He's going to show this document to the witness, and she's going to try and identify it.
If you'd look over Exhibit 15, please, and let us know if these are true and accurate copies. I'm going to ask you if these are true and accurate copies of what's been produced by U.S. Bank. So please look that over.
Object, Your Honor. He's already saying produce as if it's testifying as true and correct before admission of a subpoena being served.
Your objection is overruled.
Ms. Martinez, based on your review of exhibit number 15 there, are these true and correct copies of bank records maintained by U.S. Bank for NC3 Media with an account ending in 9483?
That's correct.
Thank you. Showing exhibit number 16, please.
Oh, my God. Seriously. It's going to be a minute.
Your Honor, these records were produced in discovery. There shouldn't be the need to review them.
Oh, they're not the same. They, by far, they're
Give them
not.
the opportunity to look through. Go ahead and look through them. Let's move things along. understand your review is on your time.
Oh, okay. His witness, my time, though. I get you.
Your review of this document is on your time.
Why is that? I can't review his altered documents at his expense?
Approach, white noise. It's stricken.
These are clearly altered.
These have been previously produced. You're welcome to pull out your copies of the documents, and you can show your copies of the documents to the jurors to say that they're altered.
These
But
are-
you sitting here reviewing it, taking all this time with the jury sitting here, I'm not going to allow.
So
you can-
you're wanting to fast track me to a guilty verdict? Why don't we just do it now? Please pull the jury. Pull the jury.
I'm going to excuse the jurors if you want to continue to be loud. If you want to continue to be
You
loud,
tell me to be loud.
You'll have to finish up the trial. You know, not here. Not when I'm talking to you at a sidebar. Now, if you want to pull up your documents and say, show the jury, have yours marked and say they don't have this, you're welcome to do so. But you just sit here
I
for the
wasn't
next 20
allowed to
minutes to
submit
review them.
duplicates. Because that's what Judge Banks said, don't submit duplicates.
So if you're sitting here, how do you know these are not matching your documents?
Because there's purchases in there we would never purchase. And it's from our 3D company we had. There's purchases that would never
How are
be.
you saying these don't match your documents if you don't have your documents?
I know what we purchased through our company. I don't forget.
The 3D VFX was never.
How much time do you need to review these documents?
No one. Go ahead. Submit forged documents, please.
No. How much time do you need to review the documents?
I don't know.
If you're saying they're forged,
I am saying they're forged.
how are you going to show
And
that
I've
they're
objected to
forged?
them even submitting these, but yet that's okay. You're going to allow it.
How
Please
much-
let him proceed. Please.
How much more time do you need
It's going to
review-
take several hours.
Okay, we don't have several.
I understand
hours.
that.
We have a jury.
I understand that. So please just let him proceed with the forged document.
Turn it off. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And may I approach?
You may.
Showing you what's marked as exhibit number 16, please. You take a look at that. Review it real quick. Martinez, having reviewed exhibit number 16, do those reflect true and correct copies of an account ending in 6370 in the name of Nicholas M. Casavelli that were produced by U.S. Bank in response to Mr. and Mrs. Johansson's subpoena?
Correct.
Thank you. Showing you exhibit number 17.
Really? I object to this.
This isn't fair to the jury.
With the strike count.
This,
The request is granted.
what is the purpose of this if I can't object to
We're going to excuse our jurors at this time. We're going to take our lunch break. You're all our friends. Please come back at 1 o'clock.
All rise.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record reflect the jurors are excused. You may be seated, ma'am. You're in the presence of the witness, counsel, as well as the parties. Your outburst just cost you 15 minutes of time by excusing the jurors. I'm not going to have you have outbursts in front of the jury. It's inappropriate, and if that continues, your wife is going to have to finish up your trial. So you need to control yourself.
Control myself?
Because I can't undo your outbursts. So inappropriate outbursts in front of the jury will not be tolerated. Do you understand, sir?
8 years we've tried to get this.
I understand that, but do you understand what I've just told you? You don't
No,
understand?
I don't understand English. Helen, you want to be ignorant with me?
You're welcome to be excused for lunch at this time. Thank you. See you back at 1.
Step outside.
Why can't I even ask a normal question?
You are excused, and the deputy will lead you out if you can't make it out of the courtroom yourself. Thank you.
My man, we're out of here.
You have your lunch?
Come on, man, leave me out. Show me the way.